Jeff Harrison. Mr. Hamilton, who's joined me at the table.
All right, and we are here for a sentence to a plea taken back on the 22nd of January to count number 1 of abandoning or cruelty to one animal. I ordered a pre-sentence investigation report. Have both of you received that?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do either of you have any corrections to it? All right, elocution then, Mr. Harrison.
Well, it's fairly easy for me to say that I agree with some of the conclusions drawn in the pre-sentence report because they match very closely with my initial presentation to the court. This was a difficult period in his life, and he knows he should have done better by that dog. He loved, in fact, he loved that dog very much. And that's how distracted his home life and situation had gotten, to the point where the only thing that he could think to do was continue to work and make money. It's borne out by the facts that he gave to Ms. Bisbeck in compiling this report as well. He's certainly not here saying I ought not to have consequences for what happened or anything along those lines. He's glad to know that Loki was taken by the animal shelter. He was not there when that occurred. Actually, his soon-to-be ex-wife surrendered the dog. He now has said, he did, I don't know if it's in the report or not, I can't remember, that he really doesn't have time and it's not fair for him to take on the responsibility of having a dog at this juncture in his life, because now he's a single parent with 4 children. Not really a single parent, but the only one that's earning any money for their maintenance and upkeep, if you will. So he's rearranged the priorities in his life in a way that he thinks would be beneficial to his main objective, which is earning money to take care of his family. At the same time, we understand that his conduct was inappropriate, and we're all thankful that none of the dogs passed away as a result of that neglect. It's hard for, I think, most of us to envision themselves in a similar circumstance. Suffice to say, this is something he had to plan, and is going to take great pains to not put himself in that position again. I see the recommendation for a short period of probation. I'm kind of ambivalent as to that. Yes, I do think there's also a presentation that the probation department can provide with regard to the keeping and care of animals, etc., which he thinks he can benefit from, and he's looking forward to taking that course. In a sense, I guess I agree with the recommendation in this case. Thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an agreement for the prosecutor to recommend fines, costs, and community service work.
Right.
Mr. Carnes?
Your Honor, I don't have that recommendation noted in the file, but it was.
I had it on my plea sheet, which was one of the reasons why I ordered the PSI, to see what we were truly dealing with here.
Your Honor, and I do think the PSI's recommendation is reasonable, but I also recognize the prior agreements, so I would ask the court to impose fines, costs.
So, Mr. Carnes, I have a question. Was the soon-to-be ex-wife charged at all, or anything like that?
You know, I wouldn't know that off the top of my head. I think the deal was that she was not allowed in the house where the animals were kept, but cramming that I think.
Mr. Harrison, can you fill, I realize you don't know anything about charging, but can you fill in that gap a little bit?
She was not charged, and we've yet to have what we think is a satisfactory explanation for that. James and I have talked about it at some length that I want to be careful how I say this to the court. That's what I said to him was I don't want to come in and say, well, I didn't do anything wrong. She did it all, or we're both in this together. Why isn't she charged? And talk about how that's unfair. That's just the break sometimes. And that's basically what we've come down to on this one.
Was there anything to what Mr. Carton, if I understood you, Mr. Carton, you said that she was not permitted into the house to take care of the dogs? Hold on. Is that what you had said?
That was my understanding coming up here. I'm reviewing the report again. The report says that Mary had been staying in a tent with her children that was 30 feet from the house, and that defendant would not allow her to go into the house. So it was Mary's understanding that defendant was responsible to care for the dogs because Mary did not have a vehicle or any way to buy dog food.
Okay. So in the PSI, under the heading of circumstances of event, it would be the second to the last line in there. It says Mary's ability to care for the dogs. Well, I'll start up in the line ahead. James said he did not hinder Mary's ability to care for the dogs, but did unintentionally leave a bag of dog food in the vehicle. Is that worded the right way?
She did not have access to his vehicles either. That's consistent with the police report, was that
But there was a
food
bag
in the vehicle, but she had no access to the vehicle.
So there was dog food there. She just couldn't get to it.
Yes,
As related in the report.
as related in the report, she couldn't get in the house to take care of the dogs either.
Okay. And then, all right. Mr. Harrison, do you want to, I know I went back and forth with Mr. Carnes a little bit there. Do you want to reallocate?
We're a little bit confused about that because she had been providing him a ride to where he drives a truck for Callahan. So he doesn't need a vehicle on the lot while he's driving a truck all day. So up until really close in time to this case, she had been driving him to work and dropping him off. I don't know. I don't know how this deteriorated. I know that it did. I would defer to Mr. Hamilton for some of the details of this
Sure.
situation.
Mr. Hamilton, you had the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
To answer your question about the house, my house never got locked, ever. Like, if it did, she does have the house key on her set of keys. So, like, my house, even when we went down to Florida, the house was never locked. Like, my house don't get locked. So she did have access to the house.
Were the dogs inside dogs, outside dogs?
The one was on the leash, and the two was the inside dogs. But one was on the leash, he can go in and out. Like, oh yeah, Duke was on the leash, he can go in and out of the house. So all she had to do was open the door.
Okay. And is that the Great Pyrenees or is that?
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
the Great Pyrenees.
Yeah.
All right. And then, okay. And so there were 3 dogs there from what I gathered from the report or the?
No, there was 3.
Okay.
The dog in question is a 5-month-old
The
puppy named
The
Loki.
And so the PSI here says the Great Pyrenees was hers.
Yes, sir.
The puppy was yours.
Yes.
And then there's the third terrier. Whose was that?
It was just like both of ours.
Both of
He
them?
had access in and out of the house at all times.
All right. So he could get in and out of the house.
Yes.
Is there like a dog door or something or how?
Well, before I fixed it, there was a hole up underneath our kitchen sink for one of our faucet, like our kitchen sink was leaking
Mhm.
before I fixed it, and that's how he got in and out.
Okay, all right. And obviously the puppy hadn't found that or didn't know about it, or had it been
He was in
fixed?
the crate. He was
The
in
puppy's in a
kennel.
crate.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess explain to me if, and is it true that she was staying in a tent at the property? Or at least out of the house?
Well, she was back and forth in between the house and the tent. Like when she wanted to sleep outside because it was nice, she would go out to the tent and she's, practical camp with the kids.
So I guess I need you to explain to me how you didn't realize that and then I realized the pleas for the puppy, that the puppy was in the shape that it was in.
I was just got overworked, because we going through a rough time
Mhm.
in our marriage, and I just got practically lost up into working all the time and just not, I guess, really paying attention.
But I think if I recall correctly, at least at the plea, you said that you would see the puppy. It's not like you
Yes.
never saw it, right?
And like I would feed him when I would get home, but it would be like dark when I got home from work. So I would feed him and everything, kind of figured he would, she would let him in and out of his cage during the day while I was at work.
So explain to me about the bag of dog food in the car.
I went down, it was that Monday, I went down and got them dog food because they ended up running out. So I did end up getting them dog food. And I told her that was in the back of the car. And she said, okay. And I didn't go out there and double check and see if she grabbed it out of the back of the car or not.
So, and this is what I struggle with, because if they had food and you're feeding them at night, how are two of the dogs emaciated? Means that, they're not at proper weight, they're very thin. How is that happening?
Well, I know when I met up with the lady at the animal shelter, she did say, because I was giving them the wrong dog food, because he only uses a puppy, I was giving them adult dog food. It's like the O'Reilly's brand.
Uh-huh.
And she said that it could make him sick. And make him lose that weight because it wasn't the proper dog food. Yeah, he was getting fat.
Were you feeding all the dogs when you came home at night?
Yes, I would
So-
even feed Duke too.
So how is, and I realize again, it's not part of the plea, but it's in this PSI, so I'm gonna question it. Why was the Great Pyrenees in the same condition then?
That I couldn't begin to tell you the reason why he was in that condition either. But I did, when I got home, I fed both of them, and out through the day, when I got up and ready for work, I had no clue what she did in between when I was at work and the time I came home.
So how long did this, first of all, I guess, how long did that type of relationship go on where you're working more, you think she's taking care of the dogs, you're not home as much? How did that go on for?
About a month, a little over a month,
All right.
because it was probably beginning of August, middle of August, when our marriage started going downhill like that.
And how old was the puppy?
5 months.
All right, yeah, 5 months, there it is, all right. But what about so the PSI also says that the crate that it's in, that the puppy was in, was full of, or at least, maybe not full is the right word. Let me see what was used here. It does. It says the boxer puppy was in a crate full of feces and urine.
And I did clean it out on weekends. When I did have, a little bit of time. On the weekends when I didn't work, like Sundays and stuff, I would, take care of him and let him out and, clean out his cage.
So when, I want to make sure that I'm envisioning what I'm hearing. When you say crate, you're talking about one of those little wire kennels
Yeah,
that are,
it was a pretty good sized one. Like,
Okay.
it was one where he can actually, when he got bigger, he can still fit in. Like, it wasn't just a small little crate.
okay, but we're not talking like a dog kennel outside that you would
No, it
clean
was
once.
a big crate for like a full size dog.
So how much feces and urine was in this crate?
Then when I took it outside, it wasn't actually really a whole lot. When all this happened and everything else, I took the crate out. And it wasn't really a whole lot in there. Because I cleaned it out that Sunday before she got CPS and everything else involved that Monday.
So it's the next day that animal control
They
shows up
actually came out on a Tuesday morning.
on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Were they there on Monday or did they come, did it all happen on a Tuesday?
When her and the kids got removed, it was on a Monday. Then when they should go back out and got, hers and the kids' stuff, it was on a Tuesday. And that's when CPS told her that she needed to call the animal shelter.
And then that's when
That's
animal
when
control.
they came out and got them.
Was there any type of training pad in the kennel, in the crate?
There wasn't at the time because we ended up running out. I just had to pick up more.
Council, I know I had quite a back and forth there with Mr. Hamilton. Do either of you wish to readdress anything before I impose sentence?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think it behooves the court to get a complete picture of his state of mind as well, so I'm comfortable with the exchange.
Well, I realize at least, well, not a sentence agreement, the recommendation that was agreed to from the prosecutor would be fines and costs and community service work. But I gotta tell you, at least what I have envisioned in my head, I can't imagine dogs living like this. It sounds to me like they were just completely neglected, and I can't envision in my mind where an animal is being fed every day and is in the condition that this is in, emaciated, had no food or water, and nobody recognizes that. I also understand that it takes two to tango. I'm not sure Mr. Hamilton is the one who should be bearing 100% of this responsibility, but that's how things stand today. I am going to follow the recommendation of the probation officer. I'm going to impose a 6-month probation period. During that time, Mr. Hamilton, you're not to violate any law, report as ordered, not leave the state without permission of your probation officer, keep your contact and employment information current. Now, you are eligible for early release. So if you do everything we asked you to do, it is possible you can be released at the 3-month mark. All right.
Okay.
During that time, I want, well, first of all, I'm going to order that you not own or have any control over any animal. That means you can't own, you can't house sit for an animal. I'm also going to order that you attend the online animal cruelty prevention. I'm going to leave it at your probation officer's discretion as to whether or not they believe it's appropriate for any additional programming. And I am also going to order 14 hours yeah, 14 hours of community service work. All right. There is a $75 Crime Victims' Rights Fund fee, $50 state minimum fee. $300 fine, $150 court costs, $150 attorney fee. I'm only gonna charge you for 3 months of the probation, which is $90, but if something happens, you're gonna end up staying longer than that, you're gonna be required to pay the $30 a month probation fee. You did not have any jail in this case, right?
No, sir.
All right, so 0 days jail with 0 days credit.
Okay.
There is a 20% late fee for any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days. However, I will waive that while you're on probation. So that 56 days will start ticking once you're off of probation. Anything else for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
I'm satisfied with the record. Thank you.
Mr. Hamilton, I'll need you to go out to the front window where you checked in, get a copy of your judgment, make a payment if you're able to. If not, get set up on a payment plan. And then you'll need to go downstairs to district court probation to get signed up for probation.
All right, thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thank you.